Today, I'm going to get personal. I'm going to share with you my 12 favorite exercises / yoga poses / stretches to do using a chair. I find the chair to be a very versatile tool for giving us leverage to get deeper into some of those stretches. It gives us guidance for some of the other exercises that just makes it wonderful to use. So I'm hoping to dispel the myth that chair yoga and chair exercises are just for seniors. So stick around all the way to the end, because that's when I'm going to share my most favorite pose with you all, okay? This is going to be a full body strength and stretching workout. If you want to join me for it, just like normal, get your chair, your nice safe space to settle down in, and let's get personal. All right, so I have worked for 18 years with seniors in exercise. I got certified through the American Council on Exercise, or ACE, 18 years ago. And a few years later, I got certified by Yoga Fit in a 200-hour Yoga Alliance approved certification. And I have definitely pretty much spent the entire of my fitness career working with people over 55. I'm 55 now myself. So I can join you at the Senior Center and participate in some of the programs now. During the time that I was working at the Senior Center though, I got to meet physical therapists. I'm actually working in senior living now and working with physical therapists and learning a lot of cool things. So that's gonna segue me into my first exercise, is one that this one physical therapist I've known for over a decade now says that she does with all her clients when they first come in, and that is marching in a chair. This is good for getting us warmed up for the other work we're about to do. But it helps you articulate those muscles used in walking when we're rehabilitating and getting back into walking. Like I said, this is going to be a full body strength as well as stretching workout. So let's get going. Oops, got a string. So let's get our arms moving. Let's feel our core. One thing that I like about doing this in the chair that I learned from her is it sets us up in the right position for that posture and coordination for walking. So building on strength of our legs, let's take our legs a little wide. We're going to look at squats. I love doing squats, any variation of squats in the chair. We're going to do this variation with our feet a little wide because we can actually take our hands onto the chair if we're building that strength and haven't quite got to where we can do a squat yet. We're going to take our hands here and we can just use those to help us lift up and down. We can also use this as a warm-up to moving to that full squat later. So this is where you are, stay here. But I like it because a lot of times we don't get as deep into the squat as we should. I know when I work with seniors a lot, when we do that regular squat, we only go back a little bit. But a full squat would take us, and the best way to do this is line your feet up with the feet of the chair. I'm going to do this with wide feet again here in a moment. But you can actually just sit all the way down in the chair, stand all the way up, sit all the way down, stand all the way up. Hands wherever you need them. So this puts us through the functional movement of sitting down, standing up. When you go to the bathroom, when you get in your car, when you go to your recliner. I know. But you can also do it without actually sitting all the way down. And again, it gives you a guide to go deeper into the squat. Squeeze your glutes. And of course, if you happen to lose your balance or something, the chair's right there and you're not going to fall. Same thing with that wide version. If you want to get all the way down, tap the chair. Tap the chair. Of course, you can hover over top of it if you prefer. But I like this one because one, I've worked, when I was at the Senior Center, I worked at a desk too. So, you know, sometimes just getting some work, you know, a little bit of work and leg circulation while I'm at the desk, sitting in that chair too, you know. Anyway, let's bring this together. We're gonna look at another one where we work our arms. If you have a chair that has arms, this one is brilliant because you can take your hands onto the arms for tricep dips, in which case you'll be able to keep using your legs as well as your arms. So focus on really using your hands to help push you up when you stand up from that squat. But since we don't have arms on this chair, I'm gonna show you one. This one may not be for everyone. I'm gonna turn sideways so you can see it. But I love doing this one because it gets that push and pull motion that our triceps do for us. So you can sit forward on your chair. Like I said, I'm just turning sideways so you can see. Hands on the chair. Scoot forward, shoulders back. And I'm gonna keep my butt over the chair. You can certainly do this with your bottom forward so that it dips down below the seat of your chair, but I'm gonna do it here just because. So this way, we lift our bottoms up and then just build just a little bit. Like I said, you can bring this forward to where you're here and you can drop down even further. But this is working the back of the arms. That one's a little trickier to get back out of, so that's why I said stay there. There's a lot of videos on YouTube, Facebook about bat wings, dealing with this part here. Everyone's arm jiggles, just so you know. Doesn't matter how much you work on it, it's gonna jiggle, okay? And bat wings, whoop-de-doo. People who actually do tricep work are gonna develop that muscle to where it looks like they've got those. So just tell people you work out a lot. They won't know. All right, next thing I like to do using a chair is plank pose. Because one, getting down onto and up off the floor is troublesome. If I'm outdoors walking in the park, I use a bench when I'm walking past one. It's wonderful because the leverage, it gives you a chance to articulate these muscles in your core that you're working without having to get your hands dirty, because you never know what's down there, right? I don't even know what's on my floor. My son's been visiting. Scares me to think. Key thing with our plank though is that we want to keep our shoulders over our hips. Shoulders over our wrists in this case. When we're standing, it'll be over hips. But we don't want to come back like this because that's going to mess us up. We want that stacking of our joints right here. Stepping back. So this gives you a chance to work on this. It makes me feel good because I can hold a plank up here at this angle for a minute or more. On the floor, I could probably do a minute because I'm used to doing this. But you can hold it longer. So you can say, hey, I can hold a plank for 2 minutes. Just so you know, people who say, I can hold a plank for 10 minutes, plank anything more than 1 minute is really not healthy for you. For one, it's kind of hard to breathe at this point. I'm gonna come back up for a moment. It can get hard on your wrists. That angle is a little easier on your wrists. But holding a plank for anything more than a minute is irrelevant and unnecessary. Holding a plank just for a plank doesn't work. Plank is good because it's the position we use for push-ups and other exercises, but in as much as it's helping us, assisting us in those movements, plank just in and of itself, not good. After certainly the time, your body's gonna start compensating and then you're gonna start hurting yourself. So 30 seconds, hold that is enough. And this is a good angle to do that from. Shoulders stay over wrists because it takes a little of the pressure off your wrists and it gives you more stability and work in your core. Better angle in my opinion. Anyway, this leads me into the next one. I should have stayed there. I like doing my downward facing dog stretch here. Not so much because of getting on the floor, but the full downward facing dog pose on the floor is very challenging. I cannot stand taking a yoga class and having the teacher say, here is your resting pose, because you've got a lot of work going on in downward facing dog. It's not a resting pose. It is very much a working of the entire backside of your body pose. So we're going to take some of that work out of it by changing the angle of our hands. This is also going to relieve pressure on our wrists as we do this. This time we're going to step back. We are going to bring our arms back, shoulders back. Keep the knees bent, push the tailbone back, head between our arms. So here we can focus on pushing back and really getting a stretch to our upper back. We can begin to straighten our legs and get that stretch to the back of our legs. I like to wiggle side to side And when you're in this position, you can wiggle a bit more than when you're on hands and feet on the floor. But really focus on pushing back, feeling that stretch across the front of the shoulders as well as the back of the shoulders, shoulder blades. And it's easier on our neck. Let's bring this back up and breathe. So while we're standing, we're going to do one more stretch that I really like using the chair for, because again, it gives us leverage to get into it. Hands to the chair again. We're going to take one foot back and find a lunge. So here we're able to really use our hands to help us push that foot down and hinge forward. So we've got support, building strength in our arms while opening up the back of our calf. Give it a chance to relax. Breathe. I like to try to come a little further forward with my heel down to really get into the calf there. And it's also kind of fun to straighten the front leg out and get a little hamstring stretch there. Kind of like triangle pose or pyramid pose, I guess. Let's bring it forward again for that lunge. Stepping in, other foot back, pushing the heel down, and again, pushing into our hands, coming forward a little bit. So as we feel the muscles relax, we come forward. Again, I just love the leverage here for getting that stretch to the back of the leg. And it's always in these videos, if you're finding something that's feeling good, you want to hang out there for a little bit, just pause, and then join us again later. Let's bring that back up. Whew. And we're going to go ahead and bring this down. I'll tell you what, let's keep our feet here. Scoot forward on the chair. I like getting a chest stretch. Again, sitting at a desk, sitting in a chair, you tend to get like this, and this hurts. It's hard to breathe. So opening up here, my go-to, and a couple of other physical therapists I know, tell you to do what they call the W. Make a W with your arms and press back. But if you can reach back to and hold on to the chair, all of a sudden, you're able to really open up here. I love this one because I really need the stretch to my chest. When you stand a lot, again, sit a lot at a desk, especially when you're getting bored and tired towards the afternoon, after lunch, everything starts to fold in on itself. So this is a good one for waking you up, giving you a little afternoon energy, or at least it works for me. But again, I like to walk my hands down to where I can really hold on. I've got bars here that I can hold on to and really open up, getting into a little bit of a back bend here. Breathing deeply. Oh my goodness, this feels so good. Let me know in the comments if you feel as good doing this one as I do. I'm gonna stay here for a few more seconds. Oh my goodness. But stretching through the entire trunk or core of our body, everything from shoulders to hips is our core. Let's step our legs out wide. I love doing a side stretch this way because one, I got support as I go really deep into the side bend here. Then I can focus on, because I feel the sit bone underneath here, I can focus on pushing this hip. And as you see, as soon as I push that hip down, I'm getting opening right through here. I don't need to do anything else. I'm getting that opening there. But if I reach up and over, that's getting a stretch all the way down to that hip. Which again, if you've been sitting for a while, oh my goodness, do you feel me? And again, hit pause if you're feeling this. I'm going to try to keep it for a pretty good bit of time so that we get our little stretch and energizing here. All right, let me go ahead and take it to the other side. Again, get that leverage by getting as deep as you can over here. Push this hip down, reach up. Noticing our breath on that side. Brilliant. All right, we're actually gonna get a little bit of a side stretch in this next one, because for me, the area around the hips, low back, all this area here needs some good stretching. You know, once in a while, the pain just gets you. Anyway, let's take this to a side lunge, and I'm gonna tell you why I love this one. Turning to the side, we're gonna get ourselves supported on this one so that this hip is completely down. If you sit a lot, do a lot of squats and other things like that, the hips, hip flexors as they call them, get so tight. So getting to where you can push this knee down off the edge here. There's some other stretches we can do to open this up too. You can let me know in the comments if you want to look at some of those. I like to wiggle my foot and take it back a little further just to get more space and opening here. Keep looking forward, other arm on the back of the chair. And like I said, if you want to, you can just leave that knee straight down. It's hard with longer legs. Some of you all probably have your knee a little higher off the floor. But I like to add a little side stretch to this because this really gets down the front and side of the hip. This one to me is just like an awesome full body, or at least hitting the parts of the body I really need to stretch out. Everybody has certain things on their body that are tight. And I started with this side so that I could get to the really tight side. I don't know why, because I'm left-handed, left-footed, but my right side is the one that's tight. Anyway, let's get our support on this one. Let this knee come forward. And again, it's hanging off the chair so that it's got room to go back further if you want to go there. Personal choice. Of course, it could be your body doesn't want to go there. It could be so tight that it doesn't like to, doesn't want to, maybe can't. But just let it hang, and hopefully eventually it'll open up. And if this is an area for you that's tight again, let me know, and let me know in the comments, and I can put another video on to get some deeper good stretches for the hips that I learned from those personal physical therapists. Adding that side stretch just because, oh, this one feels so good to me. Oh my goodness. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and take a break from it for now though. Turning around to the front. The chair gives us incredible leverage for this next one, and it is a twist. Now, there is going to be the inclination to grab and pull into the twist, which is not what we want to do, but it's really good because our body does need to turn like this. If you drive, you're going to be turning around to look at stuff, to move over or back up. So sitting up tall and just turning so you put your hands on the chair, not pulling into the twist, but just resting there. The chair is a wonderful guide for doing a twist. And since both sit bones are on the chair, you can focus on lifting up tall and then even looking over your shoulder. I'm going to go ahead and come out of this and go to the other side, because in yoga, we do everything on both sides. Both sit bones on the chair, lengthen up tall, twist toward the chair without pulling on it, and then finish by looking over the shoulder. Lengthening up tall. All right, let's release from there back to the front. We've made it to the end, which means my personal most favorite pose to do using a chair, pigeon pose. Because of the really tight hip here, I'm gonna start on this side. You can modify this by taking it here and just letting the knee open, coming forward for a little more stretch. I, and many of you all, will have the ability, you might surprise yourself on this one, to get your foot up at your knee. And again, you can focus on just letting that knee open up here, or adding, oh my goodness, adding a little fold, hinging in your hips, and just breathe right here. Again, these muscles get tight. I do a lot of squats, a lot of walking, which is good for you, but it gets these hips tight. Between that and sitting on them all day, either walking or sitting on them, working or sitting them, Oh, this one I just need. For those who have sciatica, this is stretching out the muscle that squeezes on. When it gets tight, it squeezes on that nerve and it causes that pain to shoot down your legs. So let's switch sides. Again, doing the same thing you did on the other side. And you may find one side is a little easier, more or less comfortable than the other side. Like I said, for me, this is the one I'm kind of feeling. So just breathe through whatever you're feeling. I'm going to hang out here for the rest of the video. So there you have my favorite poses, stretches, and exercises to do using a chair. Like I said, chair isn't just for seniors. It isn't just for old people. It's a wonderful tool for anybody to use. And I'm thinking about doing an advanced yoga poses using a chair video in the future. If you're interested in that, just write advanced yoga poses in the comments below and I'll make a video for that. But if you're not interested in that, at least just let me know what your favorite pose or exercise to do in a chair is. Let me know in the comments what your favorite is and why. All right? And if you're interested in more videos right now, if you want to keep on stretching it out using a chair, there should be some links popping up on the screen as I speak. Click one of those and watch the next one. Make sure to subscribe, ask your friends to subscribe. And if you enjoy the video, hit that thumbs up button at least. All right, I will see you next time.